everybody, this is Zach from Board with Friends, and we are back with another unboxing video. This time, we are going to be taking a look at the new Constructicon team deck for the Transformers trading card game. Surprise, surprise. I found this at Barnes & Noble, was really excited, because it's basically an entire combiner, and I'm interested to see this set because it apparently has an extra mechanic in it, something about building a tower. So we're going to pop this packaging open here after we take a look at it, and we'll see what the deck comes with and all the neat stuff that the Constructicons can do. But just to show you the packaging here, on the back we got some cool artwork. It shows how all 6 Constructicons combine. You get a little window peek here of some of the characters. Just overall, really neat. Devastator is certainly probably the most well-known of the combiners from the original Transformers cartoon. So it's not surprising that he's part of this game, and it's certainly not surprising that he came in a box set, so that people who are, you know, they know about Transformers and they're interested in the game, but maybe not as engrossed in the lore as some of the some of us more obsessed people are. You know, they have a chance to get a combiner, one that they're familiar with right off the bat. But let's pop this thing open. I think the best way to attack this is going to be to go down here. This packaging for these box sets, the starter kits and stuff like that, are not the greatest. They certainly aren't reusable, so finding storage has been interesting. Mainly I've just been using the booster boxes and bagging up the decks that I've created in this game. But we got this nice little... Come on. Pop this open here. Woo! Cards flying everywhere. That's what we like to see. Alright, so we'll take this out. And we'll take out some of these character cards. We'll get everybody out first. How about that? Alright, we got Scavenger, we got Mixmaster, we've got Scrapper, my favorite Constructicon, Long Haul, Hook, and Bone Crusher. They did get all the original names back. I mean, over the years it's been all over the place with naming and stuff like that for it. So let's take a look here. We got all the individual characters. Maybe we can take a little bit of a gentle touch with a blade here and pop open the set. Oh yay, more of those counters. Those can go right in the trash, because they're not that great. And with the new app, you don't even need those anymore, because you can just download the app on your Android or your iPhone, and it's got the ability to create your own decks, and it keeps track of the health for you. So you don't even need these things. These are useless. Alright, so let's take a look at the characters first, because they're the most interesting. And we'll start with the foot, Bone Crusher. So Bone Crusher here, he has got 4 health. He's a 4-star character. Interesting. 3 attack, 1 defense in vehicle mode. That's surprising. I mean, he is a construction vehicle. I would think he'd be a little bit tougher. When this attacks, you may scrap a card from your hand. If you do, put a height counter on your tower. I don't know what the tower is yet, but that is that new mechanic that we were talking about. Vehicle mode, robot mode. He gets Pierce 2, and he goes 3 and 1. He stays the same stats. Really, 4 health. That is really low health. Okay, well, let's see what happens. We'll build Devastator as we go. How about that? Long Haul. Start him in vehicle mode. Another 4-star character, which I guess makes sense if you have all the Constructicons out at the same time. He's got 6 health, 2 attack, 1 defense. When this attacks, you may scrap a card from your hand. If you do, put a height counter on your tower. Okay. Let's see, he goes 2 and 1, everything stays the same, and he gets Bold 1. Again, interesting. And I guess that goes there. And Mixmaster. He's 3 and 2 and 4 health. When this attacks, you may scrap a card from your hand, and if you do, put a height counter on your tower. I'm sensing a pattern here. I don't know if you guys are, but I'm sensing a pattern here. And he gets no abilities in his bot mode. And his stats also stay the same. Interesting. Well, he forms a foot. And Scrapper. When this... hang on. We'll start in vehicle mode like the others. He's 3-1. He gets 7 health. I guess that's fitting for the sometimes leader of the Constructicons. At the start of the turn, put your tower tracker into your knockout area with a height counter on it. Interesting. I need to know about this tower now. Maybe I should have looked at that first. When this or one of your other Constructicons is knocked out while this is on the battlefield or in your knockout area, put a height counter on your tower. So there's a lot of things to do with Devastator and this tower. I guess that goes there. I was wrong. Somehow Scrapper forms Mixmaster. Interesting. Hook. When this attacks, you may scrap a card from your hand. If you do, put a height counter on your tower. And he gets 7 health, 2 attack, 0 defense. Pierce 1. Well, there's something new. He is the surgical engineer. The other sometimes leader of the Constructicons. There's his face. Look at that smiling face there. He's so happy. Scavenger. Mining and salvage. 3-1, 5 health. When this attacks, you may scrap a card from your hand. If you do, put a height counter on your tower. Tough one. Alright. And then he forms, for some reason, Scrapper's foot. So there is Devastator in all his glory. Let's see if I can push this up a little bit more for the camera. Interesting. So all combined, he gets 33 health, 2 defense, and 6 attack. That's pretty darn good. When this is combined, repair an amount of damage from him equal to the height of your tower. Okay, so now we're starting to see how this tower works. While your tower is 6 or higher, this has Bold 2. While your tower is 10 or higher, change this character's base attack from 6 to 10. Okay. So that gets into how Devastator works, how he's a little unique to the other combiners. He's got whatever this tower mechanic is, and it's going to... Oh, and look at that. Here's the card for it. Not that side. That side, the tower. Use this helper card to track the number of height counters on your tower. This starts in your knockout area with 1 height counter on it. Your cards can add more. The higher your tower, the more powerful Devastator becomes. Okay, so you want to, before you do the full combination, you probably want to build up your tower, build your construction, and then that will, for some reason, give Devastator more power. Maybe he eats it. I don't know. Cool. Let's take a look at the deck. So we got the Constructicon Enigma. If you have Devastator on the battlefield, repair 1 damage from him, then put a height counter on your tower. So you can use this card to build back up your tower. If you have 6 Constructicons in bot mode on the battlefield or in your knockout area, combine them into Devastator, the Towering Warrior. Neat. Builder's Tools. Put on Constructicons only. That's appropriate since it came with this deck. When the upgraded character attacks, put a height counter on your tower. That's all the same. Do 1 damage to an enemy. If your tower is 6 or higher, do 3 damage to that enemy instead. Heavy landing. Reclaim. Put an upgrade from your scrap pile on top of your deck. If your tower is 3 or higher, draw a card. Alright. And work overtime. I like the name of that card. If you have fewer than 4 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. Constructicon Enigma, Constructicon Enigma. Blast Shield, we've seen those. So, a lot of generic cards to fill out the deck. Grenade Launcher, these are all from Wave 1. Scrapper Gauntlets. Improvised Shields. Pep Talk, that's Wave 2. Draw 2 cards. Primary Laser and Rapid Conversion. Nice. Interesting. So, he's got some unique cards to this deck. That Tower Mechanic could be fun. I don't know yet until we try it. I guess I would think of this kind of like with the same vein as the Metroplex deck, where he's kind of his own thing, almost like a boss battle, but also now that there's other combiners that you can make, it could be fun to, pit him against somebody else who's a more generic. No, that sounds wrong. A more plain combiner without the extra mechanic of the tower. Everything would stifle around this. So if I were to go up against Devastator, my goal would be to take him out before he could combine or build up that tower so that he's less powerful. If I were to use him, I would want to focus on building up that tower before I do the combination sequence. But there are some cards in here, it looks like, that let you add to the tower, but not a lot. I think it's all based on the individual bots, because once they're combined, I don't believe there's a way to uncombine them. And it doesn't say on here that you can add to the tower, it just says while the tower is 6 or higher. And it doesn't look like you can attack the tower either, so your opponent can't attack this directly. That would have been interesting too if this played as a character of some sort, so that you could target the tower to knock pieces off of it. And I assume maybe these aren't as useless if you're going to use these as tower counters. I would just as well just put a die on there. But self-contained, and yeah, that would be neat if someone had the starter kit or the new starter kit that's coming out in May, I believe, which is for some reason Bumblebee versus Megatron. If they just had those kinds of kits in this, then they could have an interesting game with it. It looks pretty cool. I dig it. I'm willing to try it out. Maybe I would customize this deck a little bit, put some more interesting cards in here than some of these generic ones that came with it. But the specific to the Constructicons cards, these are interesting. I like these a lot. But yeah, that is the Devastator deck for the Transformers trading card game. If anyone's already tried it, I know it came out on Friday. I was excited to see it when I spotted it at Barnes & Noble. So I had to pick it up. Why not? It's Devastator. But if you've already tried it, or you have any questions on some of the mechanics or comments because you know more than I do about it, let me know in the comments below. I made it rhyme again. But again, thanks for watching.